So TJ Houshmandzadeh gave his opinion on the T. Higgins situation. And he truly believes we're going to get this contract done. Because of one main reason. You don't piss off number 9. And if number 9 wants something, well, you get it done. Plain and simple. If number 9's been vocal, he wants Trey Hendrickson on this team. He wants T. Higgins on this team. He wants Jamar Chase on this team. And I don't think he said anything about Mike Gesicki, but I'm assuming he probably does want Mike Gesicki on the team. And that's plain and simple. You know, your franchise quarterback is vocal and says, hey, I want A, B, C, D. You get A, B, C, D done. What he had to say was, I believe they'll work something out. Because they don't want to piss off Joe. Joe Burrow wants him there. Joe Burrow, ain't going to go nowhere now. But if they start to lose players year after year after year, obviously he's speaking to the point of the front office doesn't listen to Joe and constantly does the opposite of Joe. There's a potential Joe would want to leave. I still don't think. Here's what I say, right? Okay, I know Colin Cowherd talked about this before too. I don't think Joe would want to leave based on the fact I don't think the front office would go against him. So, if the front office completely did the opposite of what Joe wanted and always went against Joe, yes, he would probably want to leave. But I just don't think the front office would ever do it. And I don't think one thing here of, okay, let's say we did lose T. Higgins. I don't think this one thing would make Joe Burrow want to leave. Now, if we didn't re-sign Jamar Chase, if we didn't get any of the 3, it would piss Joe off if we didn't get T. Higgins. But if we didn't get any of the 3, then Joe would be livid. And then that's a complete different case above itself. One thing, no, it's not going to cause Joe to want to leave. But if everything is the opposite, he goes against him, then yeah, there would be a lot more talk. If you're losing good players with cap space, it ain't like you're losing good players and it's all our team is making money. We don't have room. You got the cap space, get it done, because you could have signed T. Higgins 2 seasons ago for $20 million a year. That's a bargain right now. Now you can't even sign him for 25. Get it done because he makes the team better. Here's what I'll say, right? He's not wrong, right? We could have got T. Higgins signed for the Michael Pittman deal, and the Michael Pittman deal was averaging around 21 a year. The Bengals do this. They Twitter their feet. They, try their best to stand on business of, we value you at X and we're not going to budge off that number. This is kind of how they work. It's a, death by 1,000 paper cuts type of mentality here. They're their own biggest enemy in a way. It is what it is. It's just how they operate and how they do business. It's why we do lose a lot of good players. It's such a weird situation to be in. Because listen, right? I agree with everything TJ's saying, but it is a lot to pay that much money for 2 wide receivers. And so I get it from the Bengals' point of view, right? I say sign T 100%, no questions asked. You got to get him on the team. If Joe Burrow wants him, Joe Burrow gets him, okay? That's just kind of how it works, your franchise quarterback. But if we're looking at this from a third-party point of view and not from a fan or from what Joe Burrow wants, what you look at is say, that's a lot of money to put toward a second wide receiver. And paying that much money in your receiving core is not the smartest thing to do when it comes to building a franchise. Receivers are a dime a dozen. You can get another receiver in the draft. There's a lot of them. And usually a 4th or a 5th round pick can, if you have a good enough coaching staff can be developed into a solid wide receiver 2. Maybe wide receiver 1 if the guy's good enough. He's a gem, right? So, and then free agency is also a cesspool of receivers usually every year. It's hard as from a business standpoint, it is difficult to justify spending that much money on the receiver position. The running back position and the receiver position, it's hard to justify that much money. Because usually, if you want to build a great team, you got to spend all that money on the offensive line, the defensive line. That's usually where you got to spend all that money. But our situation is different, right? And if we're looking at from a third-party point of view, you also look at T. Higgins' injury concerns and his injury history, and you have to put that in effect. Again, I know it's stuff we don't like to talk about, but it is stuff that is true. Spending a lot of money on receivers when he has injury history. With that being said, we are also looking at this now, again, from point of view of as a fan / of what Joe Burrow wants. So you have to get it done. That's pretty much how it is, right? This is a standard of we understand, but you have to get it done. So I do agree he does make the team better. But again, you could also make the argument, well, you could allocate 26 some odd million, somewhere else and get better somewhere else that might help you overall wise. So there's a million reasons why people say we shouldn't sign him. A million reasons why people say we should sign him. Here, what I said at the end, I want him. And don't piss off Joe Burrow. Don't piss off your quarterback. But the Bengals twittering their feet and not getting this contract done 2 years ago is just typical Bengals. This is how they negotiate, and this is what always bites them in the butt, is they always try to get the lowest possible dollar for every single player. So it is what it is at the end of the day. We just got to rock and roll and see what will end up happening here. But tell me down below your thoughts, opinions. I'll see you guys next one.